Your bones and your joint is an organ system. But that's not only what arthritis can do. It also, in many people, can include affecting your heart, affecting your lungs. Arthritis is a major illness and very complex, and it affects everybody and all ages. One of the things that you probably can first think of when you think of arthritis is pain. All of us that have arthritis, and I have rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis, the first thing you think about is pain. The other thing would be joint deformity, joint limitation of motion in your joint, inability to walk or run. Those are all the kinds of things that occur. And right now we don't have any definitive treatments to halt the destruction that occurs in the bone and joint, which eventually leads to joint death.
At 9 years old, I was on 64 pills a week, and that is including chemotherapy medication that I am still on. I am still currently on the medication called methotrexate, which is a very common chemotherapy medication for patients suffering from arthritis. And so even today, as I am on that medication, it's been over 10 years. Now I'm 21 years old. And so being on that medication for that long, I do not know the effects that will be down the road for me when I want to have children. What will be the effects that I will battle from being on a chemotherapy medication for a majority of my life? I am on a whole range of medications from eye drops because of my scleroderma causing dry eyes, to pain medications, to stomach medications, things that will try to coat my stomach because over the years the lining of my stomach has completely been ripped apart. Even within the past year, I have had many stomach tests. I had a colonoscopy at the age of 20, which is not something that 20-year-olds typically go through because of the severe damage to my stomach. And I've been on specific medications for that. Even recently had to change my diet completely, cannot eat normally, and can barely eat at all at sometimes because of the effects of my past medication due to my arthritis. And so now I'm on 45 pills a week.
You know, we have bones and we have joints. So if you don't have bones, you're a jellyfish. If you don't have joints, you're the Tin Man. So really, you know, you need your joints to be able to do anything. And they are what get affected primarily with arthritis. The other side of the coin, however, is that these are systemic chronic illnesses. You have chronic inflammation going on all over your body. The fatigue that Margot mentioned is one of the biggest problems that everyone underestimates, how much extra work it takes to get up, to get moving. Think about how it took for you to get here in the morning, throw in an extra 30 or 45 minutes that it's going to take you before you're going to be able to move enough to brush your teeth or comb your hair or get in the shower and get dressed.
I'm putting Band-Aids on this arthritis that we really should find a cure for. So we can call it a disease of old age, you can call it a VA disease, call it an autoimmune disease, but this is a disease that affects every one of us in some way, shape, or form and costs all us tons of dollars. So in my office, I'll see 3 groups of patients in an average day, right? So I have a wide group of patients. I see all different ages, socioeconomic background, and the types of arthritis I'll see in the office be osteoarthritis, I'll see the inflammatory arthritis we just talked about, and I'll see post-traumatic arthritis that we alluded to with the VA population and the injuries they receive. And of that group, we always will try some sort of non-operative treatment. So you got the 2 categories of mainstream and complementary medicine, we call that, right? So mainstream is going to be physical therapy, injections, medications, and then lifestyle adjustment, activity modification, or some sort of occupational retraining. All of that costs somebody money. It's going to take away from that patient's quality of life, and someone's got to pay for that, whether it's a payer, their ACO, their out-of-pocket expense deductible. How you look at it, that's costing someone a lot of dollars.
West Virginia, the average annual income is $36,000 a year. So when you have a drug that costs, let's round up, $2,000 a month, that eats up an enormous amount of your take-home pay, if not all of it.
It's important that families have access to all the medications they need, not just 1 or 2 that might be on their insurance formulary. So that's an issue we continue to work on and to press insurance companies to make sure that people who have a disability like arthritis have access to the medication they need.